Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batman Dead End, the 2003 short film. So I had mentioned, the Grayson trailer, like a year prior, there was this other, short film thing came out with Batman versus, Predator and the aliens. This thing you can actually find on YouTube now. They have it, and many people have uploaded it now. They've uploaded the old, the granulated looking, film. They have an HD version, I think like a 4K and everything. And so, this thing is just amazing. Oh, happy Batman Day, everybody. Well, actually, it was a couple of minutes ago. It's taking me a while to upload this. And so, this thing is just truly, amazing, man. I remember I was, in college, and I don't know where exactly I was at. I was out in the computer lab or, my art class, and we was on the computers and stuff. And I just somehow, I don't know how, man, I just came across this, website called theforce.net, and it had it on there. And so I watched it, and you was able to download it back in the day. I'm all like, holy crap, this is awesome. This was around the time also The Dark Knight had came out. So everything was just Batman related back then, And then soon later the Batman cartoon came out, and it was a good time for Batman around this time. And so I was just shocked, awed, and amazed at what I saw. But as I was watching this, I'm just kind of something looks familiar. I don't know, the whole Gotham City looking thing that looked like it came from the Dark Knight movie. And there's this really cool scene where it's everybody's favorite scene. I could have sworn that came from the Batman Begins movie, but it didn't. And so this dude gets Batman. And who is that? Sandy Corolla. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I hope I said it right. So he premiered this at San Diego Comic Con, right? And basically he did this to show people, hey, I got a flair for the theatrics and everything, and wanted to direct more stuff. Now, I read somewhere that he claims that, he created the Jurassic Park logo and many other ones. And if so, that's awesome. And so, he had a budget of $30,000. And you can tell, unlike, the Grayson thing, this was more they couldn't film so much outside to where they had to do, it looked like some of it's on a sound stage. There's a scene where Batman's on the rooftop, and the backdrop in the background, it looks like a literal painting with this bat symbol thing. It looks kind of low grade and everything. No offense, but it kind of does. It looks like it's in a theater building or a sound stage or something like that. Because they had to cut a lot of corners because the budget and stuff like that, like the Batcave. Because a lot of the money, it had to go to one, paying the actors, two, making those amazing Predator and what's his name, alien suits and stuff. That had to cost some money. And I'm okay with them having to cut corners. I like the scene of Batman suiting up. All you see is pitch black darkness behind him, emulating that of the Batcave. We don't see none of the Batcave, but just him doing it in the shadows is nice. And like I said before, I love how this dude gets Batman. It's really cool when you see that of passionate film directors and filmmakers get to, not have no interference, get to do things, see what makes these characters them and emulate it on screen. Him suiting up. I love it when Batman suits up. It's always awesome. And the costume is very, very old school, like fabric, cotton, like, little spandex here and there, some leather for like thin leather for like the cape and the mask. I love the way it looks and everything. And, like I said before, there are times where I just want to see sometimes a big theatrical movie with some old school looking fabric type costumes just once, just to see how it will look. Because that's how it was in the comics, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, after that, he hears that Joker has escaped Arkham, like, Asylum, right? And so, I'm trying to think of his name. Clark Bartram. He plays Batman in this. This dude looks cool as Batman. He looks cool as Bruce Wayne. He looks a bit older, but that's all right. He's like a stuntman actor, and he also acted in Sandy's like it was a Predator. It was like a hunting prey movie, and I heard that movie did very, very, very well and stuff. And so he plays Batman in this, right? And the dude just looks amazing. He also played Batman again in Sandy's World Finest. World Finest was cool, man. Like, why couldn't Batman v Superman be that? Like, I'm still pissed at Batman v Superman. I'm just pissed at that movie. And so, like, after he hears, like, on, like, the radio and everything, or police, like, radio that Joker escaped from Arkham Asylum, he goes out and he looks for him. And I love how, like, when he turns around, he whips his cape in the air, like, cloaking over his body. That's such a cool cape thing to do. I love it when people do that. Very Zorro, like. And so everything after this is just beautifully shot. Like cutting those corners paid off. Like, you see Batman on top of a roof, and I love how he's arched on the roof and everything. It's something that a lot of Batman live action movies don't do. I think we saw it in the Justice League live action movie, and that was a great shot of Ben Affleck on top of, like, I don't know if he was on top of a statue or a roof, or it was just something that was really nice looking, right? And so he's looking around and he sees Joker, and we see Joker, like, running around with the straight jacket on, and then there's a shot of, like, this amber looking ground, and there's water everywhere because it's raining right now, and there's a rat just happened to be there. Was this like a trained rat that that they were able to get, or was it just a random one there? Heck if I know, but it was just awesome to see. And we just see Joker's feet, and he just like running around in the water, and it's just beautifully shot. It's little, but it just has so much importance to it. And then, we see Batman do the coolest thing ever, straight from the comics, straight from the cartoon series, but never in live action. He leaps off the building and he lands on the ground, and he slowly rises up as his cape is cloaking over his body. This is Batman. This is Batman isms. This is Batman tactics. This is what the man does to get fans hyped. And the importance of this scene, like, Sandy gets it in his head, which is something these live action directors just don't want to do when it comes to Batman for some bizarre reason. I have yet to ever see this. One reason is because of the way their capes are shaped. In live action, they need to get those capes down right, but so far they have not. Tim Burton almost did, but it was attached to his bat symbol, and he couldn't really do much to it because it's like a gap space. Christopher Nolan had the like waviness of the cape, but it was like the typical hooked on each shoulder thing, and that just didn't work. But the importance of this slow rise, like the superhero, kind of not so much the superhero like pose when he drops down, but just the rising up and the cape cloaking over his body. It's a very, very important scene. Basically, it emulates what was that comic called? Was it The Dark Knight Returns? The older Batman one, like when that one police officer, lady, the new commissioner, because Gordon tells her Batman's just too big and everything, and she doesn't understand it until she sees it for herself, and she realizes Batman is just too big. And this whole like scene just emulates that. It emulates him slowly rising up, making him look taller than what he is. And the cape that cloaks over his body is giving the extra illusion that he towers over his villains, making them small. It is the illusion of fear that he gives to his villains, and it's also a layer of respect. Random people in the city and also his villains and even his fellow heroes are either gonna respect him or fear the crap out of him, and that fear will lead into respect. The man is just too big. Oh, and I just wanted to point out Batman's mask. I love how the ears flare back as opposed to like flare forward, because normally in the live action movies the ears go like curve forward, but curving back is the look of Batman from the animated series. Something you could, but for some odd reason flaring them back only works in the cartoon series. I don't know why. In live action it looks kind of odd, but I'm just still glad they did it. One really amazing thing about Sandy's technique is his use of shadows. Like, Batman is always supposed to be in, like, cloaked in shadow and everything. He's called a Dark Knight for like a reason. And that's something a lot of Batman movies just don't do. They never have him encased in darkness because, they want to get their money's worth of showing off the costume and the actors, like, well, mouth area, I guess you could say. And, Christopher Nolan, he understood that in the Dark Knight movie when he constantly kept Batman like in the shadows and stuff. But here, Sandy does a better job of utilizing shadows than even Christopher Nolan. And so then we see him like, get punched, sucker punched by Joker. He has some brass knucks on him. And we see, this is the part I hate when he spits. I don't like seeing nobody spit. It's okay if I spit. I'm okay with me spitting. I can spit all day if I want, but I don't like seeing nobody else do it. It's gross. And so he exchanges a couple of like punches with Joker. And let me just say, this is one of the best looking live action Jokers I've ever seen. There's no gimmick with his smile. It's not scars. It's not a permanent smile. It's just a regular looking man in makeup. And that's how I like it. Jared Leto came close, but he looked like a fool. And so, like, sadly, may this actor rest in peace. Andrew Cooney, he was like an actor back in the day. He was on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He was on Growing Pains and stuff. Sadly, he took his own life in 2010 from what I've read online. It says he went missing and then he took his own life. We really got to get people help with them mental health people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not fair. Like, this dude was a great Joker. Only thing on him I didn't like was the eyebrows, but I liked everything else. I like the paint. I like the redness around his eyes. I like the shaggy hair pulled back this time. And I like him in the straight jacket, which is similar to how the Joker appeared in the Batman cartoon. And so I love the dialogue between Batman and Joker. How Batman's telling him, like, he's just an insane criminal, and Joker's talking about, like, they really get, like, this dude really gets the dynamic of Joker and his obsession with Batman and almost his love with Batman. Joker's, this is the version that fell in the chemicals and it bleached his skin. And that's the result of Batman. And Joker literally tells him, like, you just like left me hang out to dry like some child you abandoned and everything. And literally calls Batman daddy and everything. He just gets it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just gets it and stuff. Because Joker has this odd obsession with, like, Batman, whether Batman created him or not. But when it's, Batman creating him, is just this weird, nutty, psychotic, almost loving, like, nature he has for him. And then like the craziest thing happened. You think Batman and Joker are gonna fight. This is what I wanted to see. I really wanted to see these two duke it out. But then all of a sudden something grabs Joker and I'm guessing it probably killed him. It's an alien from the Alien movie. I'm just kind of like, what? But I'm like, whatever, I'm here for it, right? It attacks Batman. Batman's about to die, and then something shoots it, and guts pop out his like brain and stuff. It's a predator. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So then all of a sudden, Batman just does what Batman does best, and he fights the predator. And it's a really tough fight. Like Batman's having like his hands full. He's having to use his batarangs as like weapons and stuff and fight with them. Similar to how Robin did in the Teen Titans cartoon and the Batman did in the Batman cartoon. And so then he breaks like, the Predator's like blade and he slashes him a good couple of times and he's about to kill him. Until more predators show up, at least 3. And so he's about to fight them off until aliens come behind him. I'm like, holy crap, this is about to be good. And then it just ends. I'm like, oh, you gotta tease us like that? I'm like, well, I'll just wait for the sequel. Well, the sequel was basically just World's Finest with Batman and Superman. I'm like, man, I feel robbed. I feel robbed. I wanted to see more. But, it is what it is and everything. And, I just wish there could have been more and stuff like that. Kevin Smith, he talked about how, like, this is one of the coolest things he's ever seen. Alex Ross said this is basically how he intended Batman to be. And, it really is just like that cool and everything. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.